When a high-stakes emergency hits, your voice might catch or your eyelid might start twitching rapidly. We often interpret this as a lack of willpower, but it is a hardware glitch. Your physical reflexes are actively overriding your brain's commands. This happens because your parasympathetic nervous system, the network responsible for rest and digest processes, controls your facial nerves and eye movements. During intense stress, the fight or flight system hijacks these pathways. It restricts blood flow to the neurons controlling salivation and facial expression, causing your throat to go dry and your muscles to lock up. Anxiety is the physical state of this physiological override. The body perceives a threat and seizes control from the brain's executive networks to prepare for impact. This chart visualizes heart rate variability, or HRV. HRV is a proxy for the regulatory ability of your autonomic nervous system. It measures the variation in time intervals between your consecutive heartbeats in milliseconds. While a healthy system is dynamic and flexible, patients with clinical depression often show a rigid, reduced HRV, indicating a failure in their body's ability to regenerate. Remaining in a state of chronic sympathetic arousal creates a measurable pathway to disease. This sustained tension leads directly to cardiovascular issues, including cardiac arrhythmias, hypertension, and eventual heart failure. This also takes a neurological toll through allostatic load. Allostatic load is the accumulated wear and tear on brain architecture caused by the constant release of stress mediators. Over time, this structural damage contributes to the development of PTSD and epilepsy. Because stress is a hardware malfunction that degrades the human machine, we have to look at how the underlying code executes in order to stop it. The body's threat response executes as a two-stage chemical cascade. Stage 1 is the SAM axis, or the sympathetic adrenomedular axis. Spinal neurons fall like a line of dominoes to release acetylcholine, instantly triggering the adrenal glands to dump adrenaline. This spikes your heart rate and alertness in seconds. Stage 2 is the HPA axis. Minutes after the initial shock, this sluggish system releases cortisol, trapping the body in a protracted alert state. The vagus nerve acts as a natural brake, sending signals to the heart and lungs to end the stress response. Even with this vagal brake hardwired into our biology, the hardware frequently remains locked in a high-alert fight or flight mode. This lock-on occurs because of the preparatory set. As shown here, posture, affect, and autonomic state form a single integrated response. When stressed, the brain locks muscle tone into rigid threat readiness, sending constant signals that the environment is still dangerous. The second culprit is the locus coeruleus, a brainstem nucleus that functions as an alarm system. Chronic activation permanently sensitizes these neurons, causing minor inconveniences to trigger massive adrenaline spikes. The third culprit is circadian disruption. Poor sleep prevents the autonomic nervous system from running its necessary physiological reboot. This chart tracks heart rate variability over a full night of rest. In healthy individuals, HRV naturally peaks during the final phase of deep sleep. If your sleep is disrupted, you never reach this maximum value, and your hardware never fully resets. Humans become trapped in an infinite loop of physical tension and chemical alarms. These biological mechanisms make it impossible to escape chronic stress through positive thinking alone. To fix a hardware problem, you must pull physical levers. You have to bypass the cognitive mind and manipulate the body's sensors directly. The fastest hardwired lever is the physiological sigh. 2 inhales followed by 1 long extended exhale. This protocol exploits a mechanical link between the diaphragm and the heart, instantly forcing the heart rate to slow. Somatic education and yoga function as more comprehensive overrides. These aren't merely stretches. They are intentional manipulations of the body's spatial orientation and muscle tone. By manually changing your posture, you dismantle the muscular component of the preparatory set. This sends signals of safety from the body back to the brainstem. You can also use interoception, the practice of directing attention to internal bodily sensations. Because the elements of the preparatory set are linked, voluntarily shifting your attention to your internal state forces the autonomic nervous system to downshift its arousal level, which increases your HRV and restores emotional regulation. Understanding these mechanisms helps dismantle a pervasive myth, the concept of adrenal burnout. The popular idea is that chronic stress or caffeine consumption physiologically exhausts your adrenal glands, leaving you with an empty tank. Adrenal burnout is a scientific myth. Your glands do not run out of fuel, and your system is not permanently broken. Your body is a functional machine currently operating in the wrong gear. By using breath, posture, and interoceptive awareness, you act as the operator who can finally shift it back into a state of balance.